there's a need, it's a strong desire or need for some type of communication. And I know a lot of times it's difficult because you try to like operate out of a space and place of communicating, and no matter how diligent you are with it, like things always just kind of end in shambles. It's like a lack of understanding. But sometimes wise counsel or interference, like a mediator or something, could help, but they have to be open to that, and that's usually the thing. A lot of times it's this refusal, and it's like, well, damn, do you really want it to work? So it is difficult, but definitely, yeah, I get it. It's a heavy energy. But it's just, I feel like it's a whole lot of petty things that can be like fixed, and there's opportunity there. It just has to be willingness on both of you guys, on both of you guys' behalf. And I feel like a lot of times the feminine energy or the chaser in the relationship, sometimes it could be the masculine. But typically when you start choosing yourself, when you start setting those boundaries, when you really start turning your back and sitting in a place and space of attraction, like the tables always turn, I think frequently, like there's no, except one particular flipping eggs. There's no eggs that I've had that hasn't, returned or seen the truth about, a connection or their fault within a situation ever. It may have taken time. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes by the time it comes, I don't want it anymore. Well, most of the time, like all of the time, which is also why it's so hard to like focus on me sometimes, because it's like when I start doing this, I'm probably not gonna come back. So it's difficult, but that's our mission, to choose ourselves, and that helps us manifest the highest frequency of outcomes for ourselves. Even if that person chooses with their free will not to adapt, or they wait too late to adapt, you're still elevating, and that's like the biggest portion of the picture. You know what I mean? So it's bittersweet. But rejection is protection. It's better feelings to feel. I keep saying I don't want to get 70 years old and be like, oh, all the time I wasted, like, chasing this and, like, going in circles and not being fulfilled and praying and crying for fulfillment and having the ability to have it, but choosing not to. Time is precious. Life is precious. Memories are precious. And connecting to people, they put you in those mindsets, in those spaces and places. It takes away time from the things that really do care about you. People don't live forever. Your mom, your dad, your kids, it's time to like embrace the people that are ready and available and focused on you. People that show you that you matter. People that you don't have to get readings about and get in their head, but they're like ready and eager to communicate because they want it to work the same way you do. Like, you deserve that. I feel like everybody deserves that. The mind games. I've been like in a relationship where somebody like ostracized me, like did not talk to me, would talk to the kids and would not say nothing to me, like would act like I didn't exist, and then would gaslight me like everything's cool and I'm tripping. And it's just like, nobody should live that way. Nobody should live depressed. Nobody should live looking over their shoulder thinking that anything can replace them, whether it's like friends, family. Like, you deserve to have someone that cares about you and considers you the same way that you care for them and consider them, like a reciprocal, equal exchange, and it's not just about fleeing away from things when you don't have that, but it's about understanding when someone has the ability to give it to you and they're refusing to do so. And it's like taking power of your life back. Taking back power of your life and your mind and your heart, and like recultivating yourself and next level. You know what I mean? Because who's going to stay in a season of just like going circle and circle and circle? Like, it affects your body. It affects your mind. It affects your progress in life, your development. These toxic relationships, steadily merging yourself with people, connecting yourself with people, building bigger and bigger empires with something that's going to fall anyways. Like, the debt that you accrue from these toxic relationships, the debt. that you like, it's just like, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. It's like, choose you, because nobody else is gonna choose you. And you can ride with somebody and be like, I'm riding with you till the wheels fall off, and they could be like, okay. And when they're ready to leave, they always leave. So you leave when it's too much. You do what you have to do. Get your mind together, your soul together. Build a relationship with God, okay? Because that's who you came with. Find a hobby. Love on yourself. Take care of your skin, your insides. Detox, purge, build, and make your money. And I promise, like, someone's gonna fall in love with you and honor you and cherish you. You just gotta do it first. You know what I mean? You got to do it first. The more that you pour into yourself, the more you believe in yourself, the less you keep saying, I'm going to do it, and you like actually do it, the more like your life starts to change. You know? Thank you. That was like a channel message. I need to go back and save that. Because I like listening to these messages. I promise. But yeah. The Hierophant. Spirit wants you to think about what it is that you want within this life. Like, what is it what direction do you want to go? Okay, what traditions, what outcomes is it that you desire? What are in alignment with you? And seeing if it makes sense. Okay, so I feel like you need to outline some of these things, like your morals. Okay, what type of commitment that you expect from this person. And then you kind of need to operate from understanding that spiritual matters when we get readings, or when it's really not even about getting readings. It's about tapping in and like building off of our own intuition. But those nudges and things matter. So you can like have a nudge if somebody cares about you. You can have a nudge if somebody, you know, just has really deep wounds. You can have that understanding, or you could come to terms with those things. But when you see what you see in the physical matter as well. That it's like you have to have both of them. You can't just sit too far on one side of the spectrum. So if you get a reading and it's like he's madly in love with you, but then you get in front of him and he like, you stupid ass, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have some type of middle ground, you know? So here I feel like you needing to have a sense of middle ground when it comes to assessing where you want to go with this person. Because one thing that we have to understand is you can love someone, right? I have unconditional love, but I don't have unconditional tolerance. And sometimes it's not that we necessarily say we love the person, but we love the potential more than we love the person. You have to understand that what someone is showing you, that is who they are if they refuse to never with their free will make a change. And that means that you still have to love them if they never make that change. And a lot of times we don't. Because it's that one thing that they're unwilling to do or unwilling to change that makes us feel insecure, or that hurts us, or whatever it may be. And so it's like you having to find and understand that who this person is, whether they lie, whether they put you in competitive positions, they may choose to never change that. And God is real and change is real. But when it comes to cycles, when you whip yourself to like an understanding of this person has the ability to change, but they may never choose to make that happen. And just because I see that in them, I may never receive that from them. Am I okay with being connected to this person if I never receive that? If that never changes? You know what I mean? And when you get to the point of saying no, it's two things that will happen. You disconnect, and that person is either going to start making those changes because they feel your loss. Your disconnect is significant. They are mature and bold enough to do that and meet you where you need to go. Or you disconnect, and you disconnect from the mistreatment, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and they don't chase you and they just fall off and you go choose yourself. You know what I mean? But with the Hierophant, it's really like about understanding what it is that you want. You know, and sometimes we have to talk to our inner child, because a lot of us, we be like obsessing about these relationships and these people. But if we would go tell like the 5-year-old version of us that thought that we were supposed to be treated like princesses and we want to be a wife and we want to have 3 kids and a white picket fence, they would look at us like, girl, like, that's the love you, like, that's who you gonna marry? Okay, like, sometimes we have to reconnect with what our standards were then. You know what I mean? That delusional standard, because the delusional standard typically is the standard, but we've experienced life, hurt, and we've seen other people's, and then we start to minimize our expectation because we feel like this is where we have to be to have something, you know, versus challenging ourselves to manifest that and to bring that in. It's like settling so we can just connect with something, you know. And did I lose you? I'm sorry, I'm channeling today, obviously. This is a great time to get a reading, y'all. I ain't gonna be on here too much longer, so go ahead, tap in, okay? But just saying,